Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 My Team. It is time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but before we do that, we do have a really hot lap to do for the first time. I'm going to go ahead and do the average speed zone because I'm, well, quite frankly, terrible at drifting in every game. So for this one, we just got to try to get an average speed through a sector. It looks like this is taking place in turns 13 and 14 on the circuit. Breaking it into the hairpin, and we're just going to immediately get disqualified. But luckily, we have 2 more attempts. I'll tell you what, these supercars, if you haven't driven it on the game yet on F1 22, these supercars are really different to drive, and it takes a little bit of, it takes a try or two to maybe get used to it in your head. Our third attempt here was without a doubt our best one. Across the line, smack the wall for good measure. And we end up getting a silver medal in the McLaren 720S. So just short of the gold there. You'll see the time here pop up on the screen. Just shy of it, but we do get silver, so that's still a good amount of acclaim and money for the team. Now then, the big event, of course, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Before we hit the track, we are going to go ahead, get an upgrade ready for the car, get the rear wing upper flap done. We'll have that on the car. It won't be there in time for Australia, which of course is going to be the race after this, but should be on the car afterwards. We're also going to take a look at durability. We need to start looking at that, I think. Got the turbo here. There's no upgrades on that, and whether or not we rush it or not, we can actually have that on the car for Australia. So, we're going to go ahead and do that as well, because we need to start thinking about durability because we'll be doing upgrades on all these other things. Right then, on track now, and we're actually at the end of Q3 here. Both myself and Nico got through Q1 and 2 without any issues. So Q3, this is our second run. This is the final lap we have here. Qualifying is completed. Currently P7. We're a good half second above our time here. Coming across the line, do improve by quite a bit. However, it is not enough to actually advance any further position-wise. We'll stay P7, but that is a great start for us after, well, only one of us advancing out of Q1 last week. To have both cars in Q3 is great for the Saudi Arabian GP.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen, Grim Reaper, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, and Nico Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Norris, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Guan Yu Zhou, and Alex Albon, Vettel, Tsunoda, Latifi, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
The formation lap gets underway here in Saudi Arabia, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car's ready for the battle. It's the Lights go out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Right then, a Ferrari front row lockout. Here come the lights, starting in P7. Lights out, and it's another terrible start for us. Lots of wheel spin off the line, bogged down there. We're going to fall back to P11 behind Nico Hülkenberg. Take a look at Magnussen up on the inside, but not going to be able to do anything. Gasly takes a look on our left side. However, we're going to be able to clear him. But another terrible start for us has put us now outside of the points into P11. Going to take another look on K-Mag here. However, it's so hard to pass on this circuit. Really only a couple of passing opportunities. So it's kind of just a follow the leader spot right here. Potential to overtake up here into turn 13. However, we're pretty far back on Magnussen. So we're not going to be able to get it done there. So we're just going to have to fall in line. But I tell you what, we have got to figure out these starts. I've got to do something, put in more practice with it. Figure out what the car needs. Maybe if it's something with this car, I'll have to try some of the other cars. Because I tell you what, those starts are just absolutely abysmal. But nevertheless, we move onwards. Again, P11 behind Magnussen, Hülkenberg in P9. So we head through 22, 23, and 24. Now on to another DRS zone. Once DRS is enabled, Gasly looking to our left side. Gonna kind of squeeze him there. Not let him by. Get on the ERS. Make sure we just hold on to the position. Because I think as long as we can get up here to Magnussen, we'll be able to take the spot away from him into the corner. Because we get a great run. As looks like somebody's into the pits. I believe that's George Russell. But we go for a look on it, but actually we're going to sit back because he goes for a look on Hülkenberg, makes contact with Nico through the first couple of corners. So they're now going to be side by side here, heading up to turn 4 and 5. And looks like K-Mag's just going to get back in line there. So he went for a move on Hülkenberg. At the same time, we were going to take a move on him. So that didn't actually work out for anyone there. We're going to stay in line behind Magnussen. And now just going to have to wait it out again. But later, actually, on that lap, actually the next corner, rather, we're going to get right alongside K-Mag on the exit, up through 14, 15, with the braking zone at turn 16. A little bit of contact there. It actually makes us run wide with K-Mag. However, looks like we're still going to have the spot. He takes a look at us there, but we're going to hold on to the spot. Didn't get anything for an illegal overtake, so looks like we're all good there. But just that little bit of contact with Magnussen actually is what caused us to run wide there in turn 16. In fact, let's go back and take a look at the replay on that, because as you can see here, we get a nice run out of turn 13. Get right alongside Kevin Magnussen through 15. There's that little bit of contact, and that was enough just to make us run wide in the next corner. But I guess the game said we were ahead of him before the corner, therefore it wasn't considered an illegal overtake. So that works out for us. We move on, and now we're going to try to put a gap onto Kevin Magnussen, catch back up to Nico, and see what we can do here. In fact, just a little bit later at the end of the third lap, start of the fourth lap, you can see a big gaggle in front of us here. We come from miles back because they slow down so much. We are all over the back of Hülkenberg. We're going to go side by side with him on the exit. Bottas and Alonso side by side as we head for turns 4 and 5. Gonna get alongside, but lock it up just a little run off. As we come back on, Nico's there. We make slight contact with our teammate, but we are through. I thought Nico was going to give us a little more room after we ran wide, but I guess not. So we just kind of forced our way onto there. However, it seems like we're both fine. Neither one of us have damage. But I'm on a mission here. I'm trying to push really hard because I want to get past Bottas and Alonso because I think they're really holding us up here. And I think we just need to dispose of them as quick as possible if we have any hope of catching the cars in front of us. At the end of lap 4 here, you can see we're going to go for a move down the inside of Bottas, nearly make contact with Fernando Alonso, get a little bit squirrely on the exit. But that is now Bottas going to be behind us. He's going to have DRS. We have DRS as well. We're also going to use the ERS, take a look at Alonso. He's way too far ahead, so... But Bottas actually looked for a late move. You saw the indicator there. But we're going to hold on to P7 for now. Like I said, we want to try to work as fast as we can. Maybe see if Alonso has that pace to drag us up to Hamilton. I doubt it. However, we're just going to have to bide our time, get a little bit of that battery back to us, and wait to get past Alonso. We might honestly have to wait an entirety of the next lap just because of the nature of this circuit. And actually, it ended up being about 2 laps. End of lap 5 here, come to lap 6, you can see we finally have a good run on Fernando out of the corner. So out of turn 27, we get onto the DRS. Don't even need to use overtake. We're going to get right alongside Fernando, braking hard into the first corner. He's still alongside us, but we have that inside line for turn 2, but he's going to make it stick on the outside. Fernando not letting us by that easy. He is making it hard for us to get past him here in his Alpine, because this is going to be a good fight for points for him. So he's going to hold us up there, and we're going to have to wait again. And now we're just losing time here to Hamilton. So once again, just going to need to regroup and try again later on Fernando. And that's exactly what we do here. A couple laps later, once again, it takes a couple laps to really get that momentum back up. So once again, we're going to get on the ERS this time. Get to the inside of Fernando Alonso so he can't make that move around the outside. He actually makes contact with us there. But we are able to clear him there, and we are now through to P6. Let's take a look at that from Fernando's side, because you can see there he's kind of running just in the middle of the track. See in the mirror, we come to the left-hand side. We are very clearly alongside him there. He just turns in as if we're not there. Honestly, I've noticed that's kind of an issue with the AI doing that. Now, at the same time, Valtteri Bottas in his Alfa Romeo, coming through turns 15, 16, and 17, all of a sudden, no power in the car, no drive. He is out of this race. Didn't see any smoke or anything, so it must have been something else to cause him come to a stop, and he's going to come to a stop right in the middle of the straightaway. So that's actually probably going to trigger a safety car. In fact, I immediately see that yellow flag, know it's going to trigger a safety car, and head into the pits. I don't know if this strategy will work considering how strung out everyone is, but I'm going to go ahead, give it a shot. And there you go. You can see in the distance, the safety car is now pulling out. So this will, in fact, be a safety car. We're going to go ahead, take our tires now to the end of the race. This works out for us because this way we don't have to do a warm-up lap. And who knows, maybe we can try to gain some positions through this. I don't know. Hopefully we just don't lose any spots. Because we overtake the safety car there, and now we just got to try to catch back up to the queue. Actually, under the safety car, I noticed we had lost so many positions. We were down in P12, and that's because a lot of cars did not pit under the safety car for some reason. Not really sure why. Only 4 cars in front of us have actually pitted, so this means we're going to need to go like hell on the restart. Get past these guys as soon as possible, just to try to get up to those cars that had already pitted. So green flag back out on lap 12. You can see everyone making moves. We're going to make a big lunge down the inside of the Aston Martin as well as Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to get alongside the outside of Lance Stroll, take the position there. You see Nico working on some cars too behind us. It looks like both of the Aston Martins. In fact, it is. So he's going to try to dispose of them. We're going to try to get past Guan Yu Zhou here. We're going to be really aggressive here just because, again, we have got to get past these guys before they come into the pit lane. A little bit of argy-bargy there with Guan Yu Zhou, but we make it work. We are now past him, and we are going to try to get past Gasly as soon as possible. As Zhou actually looks down our inside into turn 13, but we have those newer tires, God help us with the grip off of the corner. And we will continue our march towards the front of the field. And in fact, at the end of the lap, just about everyone who hadn't pitted came into the pit. So I truly didn't understand what this strategy was, because everybody came in after one lap of green flag racing. I mean, hey, it worked out for us. We're now past all of these cars as we have DRS now at the end of the second lap, and you can see it worked out actually. Even though we're P6, look at the gap we now have to Nico. He's P7, but 5 seconds plus behind us. So this strategy actually in a way ended up working out, because we're now closer to the guys in front than I think we would have been before. And now we just got to try to hope that we can latch onto the back of Verstappen here as he's trying to chase down Lewis Hamilton. I think we have a faster car than the Mercedes at this track. So I'm going to just try to latch onto the back of Max Verstappen, maybe try to get into DRS range if we can, hold on to the battery, and hopefully he can take us up there. And I'll tell you what, that actually ended up being the best idea ever, because Verstappen caught Hamilton, then passed him, and because those two were side by side in turns 1 and 2 that lap, it got us right onto the back of Lewis Hamilton. So all of a sudden, we went from just trying to be P6 with that gap before the safety car. We are now right behind Lewis Hamilton and could potentially take 5th in this race. And if we could get past of Hamilton pretty quickly, we can try to latch onto Verstappen's pace again, and maybe he can take us up to his teammate as well as the Ferraris. So we're looking at going from scoring no points in the first race with an abysmal race to now all of a sudden competing for really great points in this race. It just goes to show how different the car is from one track to the next. A nice fast track like Saudi Arabia really suiting our car. We're going to go to the outside here of Lewis Hamilton. We actually end up setting fastest lap of the race right there. And Hamilton going to dive it down the inside, but not able to make the car stick. So we're going to get past Lewis Hamilton there. We are now up to P5 on lap 16. And now we just got to follow Max Verstappen as we screw up turn 4 and 5. That is, without a doubt, my worst. This right here is my worst section of the track. Sector 1 is something I struggle with really, really badly on this game. But moving ahead just a couple of laps now, honestly, to lap 17, you can see it happened again. We used Verstappen, let him tow us up there, and now he's battling with the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez in front. So Charles Leclerc is also loving this, because he's now way ahead of the rest of us. So, but now we are right behind here. We're just going to have to sit here because there's nowhere to pass on this sector of track. So Verstappen behind Sainz, Sainz stuck behind Perez, and I'm stuck behind Verstappen. You can see it's just, there's so much of just sitting around at this track, which is what I don't like about this place. So it's one of the many things I don't like about the place. But as we go here into turn 1 here at the start of lap 18, you can see we're so far back, but because they're nose to tail like that, we actually get right onto the back of Max Verstappen. They have that little more grip out of the corner, but we're going to be able to sit there for another lap. And actually, the very next lap, they go side by side into turn 1, so that gets us right onto the back. We actually don't even touch Verstappen, but he completely comes to a dead stop. I'm not sure what it was. For some reason, he just decided to not. He just swerved to the left for some reason. I didn't even think we were going to get alongside him. You can see here, like I said, without a doubt, this is my worst sector of the track. We actually royally screw up here. 9, 10, 11, and 12 here. We end up running wide at turn 12. This gives Max Verstappen a huge run down the straightaway into turn 13. And he's going to come back down the inside of us. And I just let him have it right there because we just need to make sure we stay with Sainz and Perez for now. So we're just going to hold on to the position. We'll just follow him around the track, charge up our battery just that little bit, and we'll be at the back of this DRS train once again at the next lap. And in fact, when we do start the next lap, you can see Carlos Sainz now looking for the move on Sergio Perez into turn 1, side by side. This gives Max a little bit of a look as they continue side by side out of 2 and through 3 towards 4 and 5. So Max looking to see if he could go anywhere. They continue to be side by side. For some reason, again, he just swerves to the left. I was never even near him on that. I looked through that replay a little more because I was actually pretty far behind him. And I think it's just he was too close to his teammate and it caused him to do that. But as you can see, we end up screwing up turns 11 and 12 again. So for the second lap in a row, Max Verstappen going to repass us less than a couple corners after we end up passing him. So we'll just have to sit there again till the end of the lap. And that's what's frustrating about this is we keep passing him, then he passes back, and then we just can't do anything for the rest of the lap. But here we go. They're going to go side by side into the corner again. This time Sainz on the inside. Because of that, we're going to go on the inside of Max Verstappen. We get the pass done. We are now into P4 in this race. And with Sainz and Perez battling side by side, if this continues, who knows? We could be looking at a podium here if they continue to battle like this, because on top of the fact of us having this Ferrari power unit is what's helping us get towards the front here, it's also the fact that everyone just keeps battling. So because they're battling, and you see into turn 1 just how much ground we're able to make up. And because the rest of the track I can use their slipstream as well as DRS to keep up with them, it honestly really works in our favor. So the way that the AI are battling through this race is actually really helping us as we just clip the wall there in turn 16. However, no harm, no foul. But yellow flags, and looks like it is in our sector, and it looks like it might be a bluish green dot. That could be a Mercedes. And in fact, it's Lewis Hamilton, as you can see, was actually right behind us. And it just shuts off. It's very similar to what happened to his former teammate Valtteri Bottas. But as you can see, this is in the same exact spot as where Bottas came to a stop. So this means a safety car is out with just a couple laps to go. In fact, it was a very quick safety car because the game wanted us to go back racing here. So it's going to be a 2-lap dash to the finish here. I doubt we'll be able to get first or second because those are the Ferrari boys. I doubt they're going to fight each other. But we are going to try to see if we can get Perez here and maybe get onto the podium. Actually had to back out a little bit there because we were catching him a little too fast. But green flag, we're going to take a huge lunge down here to turn 1. You know we got to send it here. Down to the inside of Sergio Perez. We're going to chop him off there into turn 2, out of turn 2 and turn 3, and we are now in to third place on this race. And we are right under the back of Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc just seems untouchable. He's already driving away from the both of us. Gonna see if they can do anything to Sainz here, but oh my god, the dirty air in Sector 1 right here makes it so hard to get right onto the back of somebody like that. We're on the ERS because we have a ton of energy. We're not going to be able to make a move down here into the corner, so unfortunately it doesn't look like we'll be able to do anything on this lap, as this is also helping us because it looks like Perez fell a little far back. I don't think Verstappen and him are fighting though, but we kind of got to hope for them to fight. And as you can see, the Ferrari's starting to drive away from us now, so immediately my attention's going to go from trying to catch Carlos Sainz to defending from Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, because right now we are on a podium. Our first ever Formula One podium in just our second race. And again, that first race, we scored 0 points. Nico was the only one in the points. So to go from outside the points to now on the podium, a matter of one race, I think says a lot about how, as I said in Bahrain, this car is really fast. It just needs help in the slow corners. And with there being so few slow corners on this track, we're really seeing the strength of this car. So this tells me a lot, not only about my driving style, and as well as I think where we'll excel this year, but it also tells me a lot about where to go with our upgrades, because now I know for a fact it is about that traction and some of those other things I mentioned in Bahrain. But here we come now through turn 27. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz do a 1-2 for a Ferrari, and a Ferrari power unit, P3, as we are on the podium in Saudi Arabia. And if you caught it, unfortunately, Charles Leclerc stole fastest lap from us right on the final lap, the ass. But we get driver of the day, so it all worked out for us.
A sterling effort from the team and a magnificent drive to secure victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So then, our first podium in F1 comes in just our second start. What a result. Like I said, Ferrari won 2, we come home third, then both the Red Bulls, Alpine, Hulkenberg for the second race in a row brings it home P7 in a solid double points day. Our first, actually. Let's see here. AlphaTauri, Alpine, and McLaren get points as well. Both Haas's out, both Williams. Actually, relatively decent results for them, but no points. And a disaster of a day for Mercedes. Double zeros in the column for points. Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas both DNF out of the race and caused both safety cars. We end up catapulting up the driver's standings up to P6 there with 15 points, actually passing Nico, who has, again, twin 7th place finishes. See all the drivers there yet to score a point after 2 rounds. Taking a look over at the constructor standings, though, we leapfrog up to P4. Alfa Romeo tumbles down the order to P6. Let's see, Alpine P5, good for them. And so far, Williams and Aston Martin, the only ones without points after 2 rounds. Not bad at all. But no rest for the wicked. We get ready for our next Grand Prix, the Australian Grand Prix. Just filling out our activity timelines. Really going for the morale boosts on this one to help with our future development. So doing the team building, doing the funded team event. I don't want to take away morale from the other departments, so we're going to go ahead with that second driver performance review. Going to cost us a little money, but it'll also help with Nico's focus. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But that's actually going to be it for this episode. So a wonderful P3. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more F1 22 My Team content. I'm having a blast so far, only 2 races in, but I hope you guys are having just as much fun. So, I'll see you next time. Until then, bye!